Terminated or resignated, the circle of life. Let's talk about it.
Are we talking about it right now?
Right now, we're live.
Oh, I thought we were doing don't we do a little intro usually?
Can't do it this morning, unfortunately.
Oh, I
don't have it.
I see. So, guys, what we wanted to address with you this morning was staff, employees. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yeah, and it's particularly now with Australia. Australia's lost 1 billion people, and a lot of them are actually workers. Because it's not like there's not a lot of small kids that have been deported by immigration. They've genuinely been sort of key workers in the area, which starts kicking up to professional employment, to corporate world and stuff like that, because all those guys are needed through all of those businesses. So the common thread when we're talking with people at the moment that own businesses, and in the recruiting section, they're like, wow, this is it's a new world.
It's really tight at the moment with staff, and also look, we've I guess, for use of a better word, we've lost a really great staff member over the last few weeks. I don't know if we're mentioning names at the moment, but Mr. Michael Bergio. Look, Michael was with us for 9 years, and it is out in the open. There were tears when he left. There's no doubt about it. When a staff member's been with you for that long, we actually have enormous longevity, Mark. I think we worked out the figures not that long ago that our average staff member at Novak, when you amortize it out over 20 years, has stayed with us for an average of 5 years. That's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It's not like the good old days when our parents would go to work, and your mum worked in Woolworths management, Mark, for 40 years or something, wasn't it?
Mum had 3 jobs, and one of them was 40 hours a week at Woolies. I mean, 40 years it's changed. It's definitely changed. Where that, I think, well, I guess you could say that was 2 generations ago. Now it's not. It's that sort of that generation of the 70s and 80s. The people that are 70 and 80. It just doesn't happen anymore.
No, we don't see that longevity. We've seen that change even in the last few years, haven't we? We just don't see that longevity anymore. It'd be interesting to hear from you guys that are business owners what you see out there. I think this is a great topic because it's something that a lot of people just simply don't talk about. They don't talk about the staff. We certainly always talk about culture and great cultures and things like that, which is awesome, but we certainly never talk about the staff that come and go, and I think it's a great conversation to be had. I really do.
Do you know what? I think also there's a, like, for us, for instance, I think there's, like, with people going, sometimes there's almost like a both parties, everyone sort of thinks there's a winner and loser in it, but I think often that both parties do better from it, because it's almost like a replenishing, a new energy, and look,
are we allowed to talk about the dog years?
No.
Oh, we're not talking about dog years.
No,
okay.
But I said that. It's basically
okay. No, I know everyone's like, tell me.
No.
Okay. No. Okay. But let me just shed some light on it. All right. So what happens to people and even businesses?
Can't laugh because my ribs.
Mark broke his rib. He fell off a motorbike. And he's being a typical Leo, and he doesn't complain about it, except when it's just me and Mark. Anyway, we won't go into details there.
I'm crying at the moment.
But basically what happens, and again, we'd love to hear from you guys that are in business. It's amazing to have staff that stay with you for a really, really long time, but sometimes staff need to go because they've just been there for too long, and they do start to get stale after a while. So, there's nothing like a staff member that knows the business back to front, that everyone knows back to front. We're certainly not referring to Burge, if that's what anyone's thinking. That is not the case. But it's just interesting to know, what do you guys think when a staff member's been there for too long? Have people overstayed their welcome? Do they get too comfortable? Because you see the fresh, new, shiny kid when they run through the door, Mark, or the new staff member when they come through the door.
Yeah.
They're fresh. They've got all these great ideas.
They want to.
Yeah.
And they're great ideas.
Yeah.
And it's look, it hurts because there's training involved for businesses, but I can definitely say there's a beauty in it. There's opportunity for those guys. Like, for instance, in our business, there's a phenomenal new crew. Eshays coming through, some girls and guys, and they are really, really lifting heavy weights, having a lot of fun, got a hell of a lot of energy. It's a beautiful part of life. So I think in the evolution of business and the evolution of employees in a business, sometimes it is good for an operator to get rid of, to ask to work out. And like I know, look, Telstra used to have a system where they would have long service and pay out, and they would actually work people out of the business that have been in there a long time and work people into the business that are fresh and coming through and exciting. So I think there's a really good opportunity. It's I think people's natural reaction is when someone's sometimes resigned or terminated. I think people's natural reaction is like, oh shit, that's not good. But often one door closes and another door opens, and it's a huge advantage to both parties.
I agree. So, guys, for anyone who's tuned in, we're talking about staff this morning. Mr. Michael Bergio has left the building. Yes, he has. And people go, oh my God, no, he left. Like, what are they going to do now? What's going to happen now? Yeah. And the truth is that we've been in business 20 years. We do see staff come and we do see staff go.
Yeah.
We had the privilege of having Burge, we call him Burge, with us for 9 great years.
Yeah.
That's more than most businesses. And we had a lot of fun. In that time, you guys built a phenomenal commercial department.
And friendship.
Absolutely.
He was an absolute gentleman.
You guys would talk every morning. Guys, you could time your clock by Burge. He would ring every morning at 7:30 a.m. And I remember saying to him a couple of weeks ago.
That was just the last 2 years. The stuff we did before as well.
We had some fun. I tell you what, we really did. Legend of a guy. Just decided that he needed a change. We agreed. And, we wish him all the very, very best. But, you don't own anyone forever. Look, the thing is, Mark, with commercial, what a lot of people don't realise, because Burge was such a personality and, his face was everywhere where commercial was concerned. People don't realise there's 4 or 5 people behind Burge that work equally as hard. That's a big department. We manage a lot of commercial property and sell a lot of commercial, don't we?
Yeah, the guys and look, I think in a business it's just really important to you just keep pushing, keep moving, keep having fun, keep enjoying yourself, keep training, keep promoting, keep going, and that's definitely what I think with different people that have come and gone in the business. We've all shared a beautiful chapter of their life. They've all shared a beautiful chapter of our life, and
we grew up with a lot of them. Like Mark, you started Novak. A lot of people don't know this, but you were 23 years old. Like we have a 23-year-old daughter. I just can't imagine that business was started when you were 23.
Absolutely.
And we grew up with the business, with the staff.
Yeah.
Many staff we've had. So, we had another sales member of our sales team that was with us for 17 years.
Yep.
Like 17 years. He came straight out of school. We saw him get married, have children. It's insane. And the same with Burge. Burge also came to us fresh out of Domino's Pizza.
Yeah, look, a lot of these guys come, hustling. We've got the talent. They got the hustle. The next thing you know, they got the hustle, and they got the talent.
Yeah.
Built into them. But something I do have to say that I think is really, really important.
Yes.
Is
having my morning coffee. Excuse me.
Have coffee there.
Thanks.
Is what you do. An employee does 1,000 rights. An employer does 1,000 rights. And sometimes an employee does one wrong, or an employer does one wrong. I think the batting average is bloody strong, but sometimes people forget.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean about that? But it's a beautiful ethos that I've always had with staff, and I've always had with people, and I've always given them a fair go. And I think as long as there's more rights that you're as me personally, that I'm putting in more than I'm taking out, I think that's a good balance. You've done
and
that.
You do.
Know what I mean? So
and you do.
It's
guys,
really
and Mark
important.
will never tell you this, but he is the world's best trainer. Mark can take a kid who has come fresh out of school, who doesn't know a single thing, and can turn them into a multi-million-dollar commission writer.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen anything like it. Mark puts more time into these guys.
It's a two-way street, absolutely. But
100%. But, and it's going to be the school of hard knocks. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But what you will get out of it in return, look at Burge. They are testament. And there's been many that have preceded him.
Guys.
There've been many that have preceded him.
Do you know what else? It hasn't, and I had this chat the other night with someone who's just started in another real estate, and he was like, mate, I need your advice. And I was saying, it's not just riding the dollars and having the big swinging, whatever, but it's about a good balance. Do you know what I mean? So it's about, I think with a lot of these people coming through the business, they've brought up a beautiful family. They've nurtured a great relationship, with their friends, with their family. They've had a friggin' ball along the way. They've invested in property. They've saved money. They've financed purchasing. So it's so much more to the gambit of life. And I think that a good business and a good employee and a good employer can actually achieve each other's goals for each other, and it's not just the dollar sign. It's that whole path.
I agree. And but not only that, Mark, we work very closely alongside our staff, and by that I mean we're there in the office with everyone every single day. It's not an office manager that's managing the staff, although we do, of course, we've got our systems and processes in place, but we're there, we turn up, we show up, we're there with the staff, and we're working just as hard. I think you'll find in business that's not always the case with a business owner. They'll sort of come and go, and they'll be like, Mark's coming in today. Quick, guys, tidy the office, that sort of thing.
Or everyone locks themselves up in a room and is not accessible. Like sometimes.
No, we're out in the office with everyone.
It's open air. Yeah. It's a great learning environment.
Absolutely. So, guys, just to wrap up, be really interesting to hear if you're in business, what do you see with your staff? We'd love to hear it. It's a topic that's not talked about a lot. What is talked about a lot is culture and how long staff stay for, but no one ever talks about staff that leave. So today we've been talking about exactly that, staff that leave. 9 great years with Michael Bergio. As I said, the shock of, like, oh my God, I can't believe he's leaving. It's like, we got 9 years together. Like, that's more than most, businesses could say. We grew. He was great for us. We were great for him.
Amazing memories.
Oh my God, awesome memories. But yeah, keen to hear what your average staff turnover is. Ours sits at about 5 years. And if you're what you're seeing these days with employees, it's a really cool topic. I reckon that's a wrap.
It's an amazing environment. At the moment, there's just that much change and volatility and everything in the marketplace. But I do have to say the byproduct's been good.
Yeah.
When you look at employing employers, employees, and you look at the last 2 years, all in all, there's been a couple of industries, only a couple that have not survived. Some that have been on, a couple that have been on pause.
Yeah.
But I think there's a good 70% of industry out there is actually it's been a very volatile time. So it's just all new. But we thought we'd talk. Yeah, I think it's a good topic today.
All right, guys.
I know when you said you're going to talk.
Mark wants to keep talking. I've got to run.
Lisa goes, I want to talk about it. I said, I don't know. So, all right. Anyway, take care, guys.
See ya.